for almost the entire human story, night was not empty time. It was a second world, one that arrived every single evening, and that we have almost completely erased. Tonight, forget the light switch, forget the glowing screen in your pocket. We're going to step back into the dark that shaped us, and meet the people who lived there. All of us. For 1,000,000 years. Today we treat night like a problem to be solved, flood it with light and work straight through it. But for our ancestors, when the sun went down, the world genuinely changed. The rules changed, the senses changed, even the conversations changed. By the end of this, you'll understand something strange. That the dark wasn't just something our ancestors survived. It may be one of the things that made us human. So picture it. A small camp, a fire, a ring of faces, and beyond that ring, a darkness so complete, so total, that almost no living human today has ever truly experienced it. Let's find out what happened out there, after dark. Start with what we lost. In a modern city, night is optional. Street lamps, headlights, 1,000,000 lit windows throw so much glow into the sky that most people on Earth can no longer see the Milky Way at all. We didn't just push back the dark, we deleted it. And to understand our ancestors, you first have to feel what real darkness was, not the absence of light, but the presence of everything you couldn't see. Because ancient humans couldn't scroll past the dark, they had to read it. A snapped twig, a shift in the wind, the exact moment the frogs went silent. In the dark, your ears and your instincts do the work your eyes can't, and a sound you can't explain is a question your life might depend on answering. Night made our ancestors listen. And then, somewhere along the way, they learned to fight back with a piece of the sun. Deep in a South African cave called Wonderwerk, scientists found it: ash, burned bone, scorched stone, the traces of controlled fire sitting in sediment roughly 1,000,000 years old. It is some of the oldest solid evidence we have that a human ancestor sat, on purpose, and tended a flame. Think about what that means. For the first time, a creature could carry warmth and light and safety into the night, and hold the darkness at arm's length. Fire was not just heat. It was the first technology that bent the day itself. It cooked food, unlocking more energy from every meal. It kept predators at the edge of the light. And it did something no tool had ever done before. It added hours. Hours that used to belong to sleep and fear now belong to us. The question was, what would we do with them? Gather around a fire at night, and the world sorts itself into two halves. Inside the circle, warm light, familiar faces, safety. Outside it, the unknown pressing in. Every night, humans sat on that exact border between the known and the unknown. And on the safe side of it, with nothing urgent left to do, something quietly remarkable began to happen. They started to talk differently. An anthropologist named Polly Wiessner noticed it. She spent years with the Guhuansi people of the Kalahari, and she did something simple. She recorded what people talked about by day and what they talked about by night. By daylight, the talk was practical. Work, plans, complaints, who did what. But after dark around the fire, roughly 4 out of every 5 conversations turned into something else entirely: stories. Not just any stories. Tales of distant people, ancestors, spirits, journeys. The imagination switched fully on. By day, the mind asks, how do we survive? But at night, the fire asks a different, deeper question. Who are we? Firelight, Wiessner argued, may have been the very setting where human culture was rehearsed and passed on night after night for thousands of generations. And a story is not just entertainment, it's memory you can carry. A map of where the water is. A warning about the animal that killed your grandfather. The rules that hold a group together when times get hard. Long before writing, before schools, the fire at night was one of humanity's first classrooms, where everything a people knew was handed from the old to the young in the dark. Then the fire burned low, and it was time to sleep. But here is one of the most surprising discoveries of all. For For much of history, sleep was not one long block. The historian Roger Ekirch dug through hundreds of old diaries, court records, and letters, and kept finding the same strange phrase. People wrote about their first sleep and their second sleep. It sounded like a myth, until a scientist tested it. In the 1990s, a researcher named Thomas Wehr had people live in 14 hours of darkness a night, like a long winter. Within weeks, their sleep split in two: a first sleep, then a quiet hour of wakefulness, then a second sleep. Their bodies, it seemed, still remembered an older rhythm, one that electric light had made us forget, and that middle hour was not restless or anxious. In the old records and in the experiment, it was calm, almost meditative. People would tend the fire, talk quietly, pray, be with each other, or simply lie in the dark and let the mind wander. A peaceful island of wakefulness in the middle of the night that almost no one alive today has ever known. Now, a caveat, because the truth matters more than a good story. Night was not a lost paradise. It was cold and smoky and often dangerous. And studies of some modern hunter-gatherer groups show them sleeping in a single block, not two, so segmented sleep may belong to certain times and places, not to all of humanity. The past was not simpler, it was just darker, and lit differently. But strip away the romance, and something real remains. Night forced people together. It pulled them into the same small circle of light, to share food, mend tools, tend the young, watch the dark, and pay attention to one another, with nowhere else to look. Night was a kind of social technology. It bound the group tight every single evening, whether they meant it to or not. Then, in a heartbeat of history, it ended. Gas lamps. The factory. The electric bulb. In barely 2 centuries, we did something no ancestor could have imagined. We switched the night off. And the gains were enormous. Safety, productivity, whole new hours of life. But every trade has 2 sides. We flooded our eyes with light long after sunset, and our ancient inner clock lost its footing. Sleep grew shorter and later. We scattered into separate, lit rooms, and the fire circle quietly went out. And we washed the stars out of the sky, until the oldest view humans ever had, the one that inspired every myth and every map of the heavens, became, for most of us, just a memory. So this is how humans lived at night before electric lights. They read the darkness. They tamed a piece of the sun. They drew a circle of light against the unknown, and inside it they told the stories that taught their children who they were. They slept in 2 halves and woke to a quiet hour we have entirely forgotten. For 1,000,000 years, that was the human night. And here's the quiet truth to carry with you. That fire never fully went out. Every time we gather in the dark to tell a story, to teach, or to simply be near the people we love, that is the same circle of light 1,000,000 years on. The night made us. We just built a switch to forget it. Follow the prime signal.